She walked into a room full of doctors, scientists, and fashion executives, and every single one of them stopped and stared. Not because she was out of place, but because she owned every inch of that room. This is the woman the world couldn't put in a box. This is Taya Christian. The Doctor Bae. Let's be real for a second. How many times have you scrolled through Instagram and seen the same body type, the same look, the same cookie-cutter version of what the world calls beautiful? Now, imagine one woman decided she was done waiting for permission to be stunning, done waiting for the fashion industry to make space for her. She didn't wait. She kicked the door down. Taya Christian was born on August 10, 1990, in Woodbury, Minnesota, a Leo through and through. And if you know anything about Leos, you already know she was never going to sit quietly in the background. But here's where her story gets genuinely wild. This woman didn't just show up to modeling. She showed up with a biochemistry degree and a finance degree from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Let that sink in. Curves, confidence, and a chemistry lab. She built her entire identity around the idea that you don't have to choose between your brain and your beauty. You can be both. Fully. Unapologetically, both. In 2012, before the modeling, before the millions of followers, before the brand deals, Taya founded Babies with Bullies, an anti-bullying foundation. She was just 22 years old. Think about that. While most people her age were figuring out brunch plans, she was building something that mattered. That tells you everything about who she is at her core. The glamour is real, yes, but so is the substance underneath it. She didn't step in front of a camera professionally until 2017. That's when the world started paying attention, and once they did, they couldn't look away. Standing 5 feet 3 inches tall, with measurements that completely shatter every outdated runway standard, Taya became the kind of model that Instagram was built for. Real curves, real confidence, real woman. Her profile, the Doctor Bae, became a destination. Not just for fashion inspo, but for something rarer, self-love that doesn't feel forced or performative. It feels like a conversation with someone who genuinely has your back. Today, she has well over 1 million followers, and the number keeps climbing. But the follower count is almost beside the point. What matters is the movement she built around it. She calls it teaology. And it's exactly what it sounds like. A whole philosophy built around embracing who you are, fitness journeys that don't shame you, fashion that fits you, and a mindset that refuses to shrink. She became a Fashion Nova Curve ambassador, which honestly makes perfect sense because Fashion Nova Curve was built for women who look exactly like her, bold, beautiful, and done apologizing for taking up space. But she didn't stop there. She has worked with Pretty Little Thing, Lounge Underwear, Rebdolls, Balance Athletica, Bio Oil, Babes and Felines, brands that have increasingly woken up to the reality that curvy women don't just shop, they influence billions of dollars in purchasing decisions every single year. And here's a fact that the fashion industry is still catching up to. Curvy and plus-size women represent the majority of American women. The majority. Yet for decades, they were treated like an afterthought in fashion spaces. Taya didn't just exist in that gap. She filled it. She became a mirror for millions of women who had never seen themselves celebrated on a feed that glamorous. But what makes Taya's story hit different is that she never pretended it was easy. She's been openly transparent about her fitness journey, her body changes, her relationship with food and exercise, and she speaks about all of it with the kind of honesty that a biochemist and a self-love activist can uniquely bring together. She doesn't preach, she shares. She doesn't lecture, she includes you in the journey. She is also a passionate animal rights activist. The compassion runs deep. It's in everything she touches. The foundation she built at 22, the community she nurtured online, the way she talks to her audience like they are actual people, not metrics. blue eyes, blonde hair, a smile that photographs like sunlight, and a mind sharp enough to understand the molecular biology behind the skincare she promotes. Taya Christian is not one thing. She is all the things, and that is exactly what makes her impossible to ignore. In a world that kept telling women like her to take up less space, she chose to take up more. More confidence, more visibility, more conversations about what real beauty looks like. And because she did, millions of women found the permission they didn't even know they were waiting for. She is the doctor. She is the Bae. She is the whole movement. And she is just getting started.